Hey Yinzers, this is Double AP bringing you another episode of Yinzology, the study of everything Pittsburgh. So we recently did a video on the Zippo Museum. If you haven't watched it, go check that out. And when you do, you're going to notice some Easter eggs. There's some elements that go beyond just the lighter itself if you look really closely. So if you remember this gift bag that I showed you in the video, you'll see it says Zippo Museum Flagship Store. You notice something over here, right here. Do you see that? What does that say? Case XX. So some Yinzers know about Bradford, PA and how we make Zippo lighters. But a lot of Yinzers don't know that the Zippo Museum in Bradford, PA also is known for making Case XX knives. Now we talked about how strategic their gift shop is and how beautiful when you walk in to get to the museum, and then you go through the museum and then you have to come back through the gift shop. And not only are these Zippo lighters all over the place, but there's also all of these cases full of knives. So anyone who knows me will tell you I'm a huge fan of Forged in Fire. I've seen every episode and every season. And I just got done watching Eric from Harmony, PA. He just won an episode. I think his forge is called Finches, and he won the episode. He won the battle. So let's see what I purchased, shall we? Look at this. So there were so many knives to choose from. It really took me a long time to decide, and I fell in love with this fixed blade hunting knife. It comes with a leather sheath. So let me tell you why I could not pass up this beautiful hunting knife. Like I said, it's a fixed blade, full tang. And what caught my eye was this stainless steel pommel on the bottom. You combine this pommel with the long guard and it makes for an amazing, look at that grip. It just fits my hand wonderfully. So they also added these grooves. It's called jimping on the top, and that's to help stabilize for precision cutting. You think about a fish that's wet and slimy. You want to make sure that knife doesn't slip out of your hand. Stacked polished leather. Also has a fuller on the blade, sometimes called a blood groove. Helps with the tension and the strength of the blade itself. You probably can't see this on the camera, but every case knife is stamped right there on the tang of the blade. You know, you have the blade and then you have the tang that goes into the handle. So right there on the tang, when the blade ends, every case knife is stamped. This is a special stamp that indicates the make and model and the date of when your knife was made. So if your grandpappy or your great-grandpappy happen to have a pocket knife and it's a case knife and it's in the garage or somewhere in the toolbox, you can pull that knife out and you can find that stamp on the knife, and it'll give you some information about that knife. Now, the tang dating began in 1970s with 10 dots. Beneath the USA, each year a dot was removed. Then in the 1980s, a similar dating system appeared, but the S's became lightning bolts. So 1990 to 93, they just stamped the date. And then 93 to 99, they brought back the dot system. And then from 2001 to 2009, they had the combination of X's and dots, removing the dots from 01 to 05, then removing the X's from 06 to 09. Then in 2010, they had the X's and dots again. And then in the year 2020 to 2029, they brought back the original 10 dot system, removing a dot for each year. Another one of my favorite shows is Alone, where you have competitors that are dropped off in the middle of nowhere. And whoever can last the longest by themselves in the wilderness with just like 9 or 10 items, they get to choose their items. Whoever's the last remaining competitor to stay out in the elements wins money, wins the game, wins the competition. And there was a gentleman by the name of Roland Welker. And one of Case's spokespersons, celebrities. Then they also have Laramie Miller, who is a Sasquatch expert. Yes, I said that, Bigfoot. And those two guys are spokesmen. They're like their celebrity XX Knives Pro team. And they've come out with their own Case Series Pro knives. So Case is really starting to expand beyond just your typical little pocket knives. Like I've mentioned, they're getting into fixed blade hunting. They're getting into the survival knives, the EDC knives. And so the famous XX is a trademark. It's a little bit of their history that goes, again, all the way back to the beginning when they would have a quality check system during the process of heat treating the metal. Now the blades were put through initial, you have to heat the blade to harden it, a thermo heating and then a quench to harden the steel. And that was the first X that was marked on the blade. When the blades were returned to the oven for tempering, a second X was added. And then there you have the XX for the tempering, making sure that that metal has been properly and fully treated like it should. So at the turn of the century, William Russell got together with his brothers, Gene, John, and Andrew. Don't ask me who the fifth guy is. Got together and started cutlery knives, selling them out of the back of their Pioneer wagon in little villages in New York and along the wagon trail. And isn't that how most blacksmiths operated? They would find the busy wagon trails and set up shop to help folks going in and out of town, shoeing up their horses. And why not sell some knives while you're at it? And so they hired expert cutlers from Germany and England. And while in New York, they purchased knife making equipment from the defunct Beaver Falls Cutlery Company that was going out of business. Yes, in Beaver Falls, PA. Now, what's crazy is the Beaver Falls Cutlery actually started in Rochester, New York, making cutlery, razors, pocket knives. As Binns and Mason from 1866, they hired skilled cutlers from Sheffield, West Riding of Yorkshire, England, and somehow ended up in Beaver. These companies flip-flop locations. And they were briefly known as the Pittsburgh Cutlery Company. And it was purchased in 1867 by the Harmony Society and brought to Beaver Falls. So it's crazy to think that they started out of the back of a Pioneer wagon. Then their factories in New York, they move around a couple times. A couple factories burned down from fires. Somehow they end up in Bradford, PA. Not only do they make pocket knives, but they start making knives for soldiers in World War I, including the M3 fighting knife and the V42 stiletto. Then they partner up alongside Alcoa, and they start this little company called Cutco. Well, let me tell you, my wife loves Cutco cutlery that they sell at Costco. Say that 10 times really fast. Cutco cutlery from Costco. Started in 1949 under the name Alcus, the name being amalgamation of Alcoa and Case. Alcoa would purchase Case's stake in the company in 1972, and then Alcus bought the company from Alcoa in 1982, and they changed the name to what we all know and love, the Cutco Corporation. Now, Case Company is currently owned by Zippo Manufacturing. So hey, if you like this video, make sure you click on that subscribe button and become a follower. Come along and join us in the neighborhood as we explore Western PA and Pittsburgh and Case XX Knives. And if you're looking for work or enjoyment or camping and you need that little extra pocket knife or utility knife, utility blade, utility knife in your arsenal, in your toolbox, be sure to start with a Case XX. And then we'll put the website down and the link down in the description. Be sure to check out their knives. And until next time, I'm Double AP and I'm out.